Do you remember, guys, what I said about the AVL? Do you remember that I said to you the AVL was meant to protect and vindicate the police, but in return, it exposes them? And I know one will say, but it has happened to, it also exposed Bongani Ntanzi. At some point, I will tell you. Listen carefully. Bongani Ntanzi doesn't need to prove his innocence. He doesn't need to do so. Bongani Ntanzi needs to show doubt. The state, or in fact, not even Bongani Ntanzi, but all the accused, they don't need to prove their innocence. What they need to do is to prove, or is to poke doubts in the evidence provided by the state. Whilst the state, their responsibility is to prove their case against accused number 1 to 5 beyond reasonable doubt. Let me repeat this word: beyond reasonable doubt. As long as there are doubts in the evidence presented by them before court, then accused number 1 to 5 must be released. So the question that I'm going to ask you is, don't you think there has been doubts based on the evidence presented by the state against them? Given an example, they called a DNA expert, and that DNA expert comes to court and say, listen, there's no DNA evidence that links these people to this whenever they are according to the DNA expert. That's point number 1. Point number 2, which poke doubts, we're talking about things that create doubt in the case against accused number 1 to 5. Point number 2, who's this person? This guy who works at firearms, Aksum Chad. I think I forgot the police now. The police that arrested, not works at 13, the police that arrested accused number 3 or 4, between the two. Right? The police that arrested those people, they come before court and they were asked, tell us, so you arrested this person on, I think that person is represented by Advocate Lokmnes. So he's asked to say, wait, so you arrested him for the Alexander taxi box killing, right? He says yes. And then he says, so checking the gun that was used there, is that gun linked to the murder of Senzo Mayewa? That guy answered and said, nope. If it was so, we would have picked it up when we took the gun to the ballistic test. We took the gun there and the result came back negative, right? And then the state then tried and bring the likes of Abu Mangena to try and circumvent look at this whole thing and say, nah, man, guys, this did not happen, man, guys, relaxani, blah, 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 blah. That's what we got to see, that, man, these people, indeed, the gun is there. Do you get a point? But I'm trying to say, a doubt is already been created, right? But then, despite the overwhelming doubt that has been created in the case against the state, people still want us to believe what they want us to believe, because they believe that they are in charge of how we think, and not this time. This time we are independent, and this time we're going to look at things the way we want to look at things, and it ends there, and we will stick to what we want to do, and we will do what we wish to do this time around. The reason I'm saying that is because, guys, there are things that I wanted to do before we proceed with this video. And those things are, number 1, subscribe. 2, like the video. 3, comment in the comment section below. 4, share this video. 5, click the notification bell. 6, watch the ads. 7, do the right thing. Then, guys, here's my problem. My problem is here. I don't know if you have listened carefully to what Brigadier Gininda'S said. He says he's being interviewed, or he's being cross-examined by Advocate Mngomezulu. In his statement, he says, I brought everything. He's speaking about the AVL record. He says, I brought everything that was needed to me. But I was not told to bring the 18th. And you say, wait a minute. You brought everything. You yourself are saying you were bringing everything between that month. You were making sure that the evidence is there. The next thing, I don't know if people picked it up, but I picked it up. where he said, I brought everything that was needed. I brought everything concerning that month, the movement of the car on that month. Then Advocate Mgomezulu says, but you left the 18th. Why did you leave the 18th? You left it because you knew that it was going to implicate you. You left it because you knew that on the 18th it was going to expose that you lied. He says, no. Pelamina, the reason I didn't bring the one of the 18th is simply because I was not told to bring it. We say, wait a minute. 2 minutes ago, you told us that you brought every evidence. Look, you brought the evidence, like the entire evidence of the movement of the car of that month. You brought the entire AVL, but you conveniently forgot the 18th, and you needed somebody to remind you of the 18th. But you were able to remember all the other days except the 18th. That's the day that you wanted somebody to remind you about it. That's why Advocate Mgomezulu is saying, wait a minute. The 18th, remember that's the one that exposed them big time to say, this is what they said, and then it turns out that whatever they said, it was actually a lie. Guys, from what I'm seeing, I don't see why this thing, the trial within a trial, I don't see why everything will be admitted, the evidence will be admissible. I just don't see, because I think that the defense have done enough to prove that these people are unreliable. These people are not telling us the truth. I think the defense have done exceptionally well in proving beyond reasonable doubt that these people are liars, right? Because I'm telling you that it's not their responsibility to prove their client as innocent individuals, but their responsibility is to make sure that they poked out. Just on this 18th of is it 18 May or June, that 18th, which was left intentionally by these people, and then Mgomezulu worked on it to say, this one exposed you. Why didn't you raise it? And then suddenly, hi, Pelamina was not told to bring it. Who are you expecting to instruct you to say, bring these things? Who are you expecting to instruct you? Like, guys, please tell me, who was supposed to instruct them? They were bringing all the AVL record that was going to prove their innocence, or that was going to prove them right. Now it comes back. Then there's a date that is missing. And it turns out that the date that is missing was the date that actually they got seriously exposed, that they lied. But now they needed somebody to respond to them. I'm saying to you guys, don't listen to the eloquency and the... Because the guys, we can't deny the fact that Brigadier Gininda'S is very eloquent. He speaks well. We can't deny that. The problem is, don't get carried away by listening to how he speaks. One of the biggest problems that I've seen with Brigadier Gininda'S, which happens when a person is lying, they over-explain. Brigadier Gininda'S always asks simple questions and over-explains. And that's one of the biggest weakness. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He thinks he's aware of what he's doing, but from a public perception, he's not creating any positive impact from a public perception point of view. He's not helping himself. He's just creating more negative reaction or negative perception against whatever they are bringing, because he is over-explaining, and that creates a problem. If you are telling the truth, why over-explain? Brigadier Gininda'S, simple question. Did you go to Durban? Yes, my lord, we go to Durban because we wanted... No, the question was not what did you want to do in Durban. Did you go to Durban? Yes, my lord, we went to Durban. We were hungry, and we just wanted to have some lunch in Durban. And yeah, it had nothing to do with accused number 2. We just wanted to have some lunch. That was not asked. Why did you go to Durban? How are you going to answer that one? You see, that's the same problem we had. I think it was who? Was it Tumelo Mtogo? Over-explaining. Now, like they said, do not oversimplify. In football, they always say once you oversimplify something, opponents will beat you. That is what we are seeing here. The same principle used on football is the same principle you can use here to say there is something wrong with Brigadier Gininda'S. He's over-explaining. That worries me. I'm telling you, you should be worried too. he is over explaining. But again, let's continue to listen to the man, what he says. You and I, guys, will meet in the next video. But until that next video, good people, please take care.